Animation is one of the most stunning crafts I've ever borne witness to. Every hand-drawn and painstakingly created frame makes any story told that much richer, and I want to animate. I want to animate so bad. I adore it. Oh, storytelling that's done over so much intricate handiwork and planning is what's the best. The reason why I'm more hyped about this than I was like maybe 2 days ago, it's been longer than that since I wrote the script, but is because I finished up the Knights of Guinevere pilot and played through Slay the Princess, and in doing so I have realized I'm going to die if I don't draw my characters moving. For context, I've been doing tiny animations since I was in my teens. From fanimations to looping GIFs to full-on short films. Now, are these films top-tier, professionally created masterpieces? No, but I'm proud of them, and I'd like to do more like them. In particular, I have this fever dream of making a fake pilot episode, fake anime trailers, and the like for my characters, outside of, creating an actual comic, because I think it would just be fun. And even though I want to make a comic instead of having them animated, because, it's cheaper and I have more creative control, a pilot hits the spot of OC fulfillment for me, so I'm just way more into it. Plus, if I get enough support on whatever this side is, oh wow, Patreon, it gives me more financial leeway to work on random projects not related to a pilot episode, okay? I'm not guaranteeing that since I work a full-time job and, in fact, have never worked in animation. Okay, but if I want to build up more support around my characters, we gotta start from somewhere. So, I plan to start from the root of all online animation culture, our holy documents, animation memes. And also, on a side note, I'm also working on a fake outro in the tune of Kawaii Kawaii because the art direction of Vivinos is in there, and of course we're back to Alien Stage, and let's not talk about Alien Stage right now. Every video is gonna get Alien Staged if we go on the Alien Stage ramble. And also I'm working on an animation to the song Curses by Crane Rives. I've got a lot on the back burner. Part 1, concepting and why animation is great to do. To start, I've stalked many animation trends out on the market. There's countless fun ones. Honestly, the GTA 6 Pointer Sisters Hot Together song does have me in a chokehold. All the GTA trailer songs do, but this isn't even an animation trend. Okay, I was trying to find something that, while still stretched my skills, didn't make me implode. Thus, the song that goes like this. It's got a good flow to it. The use of camera angles and turns helps to obfuscate some of the frames of animation being less than what they would be if I wanted to do a really full, detailed animation that was 50 frames for a pose, while also being something that my current program that I use, Callipeg, is technically capable of. It may set my iPad on fire, and I accept that risk. Now, I know principles of animation in a pretty vague way because my workflow sometimes incorporates them. For me, I do rough key poses and keyframes because those main frames help keep an animation consistent even as you're doing a bajillion of drawings in between them. But other times, I am in full ADHD mode and there's dozens of parts in a video that are fully done, while also somehow still having parts that are still in the sketch stage. It's just the flow. You gotta go with it. One of the reasons why animation is such a great thing for me to do outside of my incessant want to see my characters do a little shimmy is because it forces me to become a better artist, which you would hope would happen after 500 frames of drawing. Each drawing has to be consistent with the previous to make sure everything flows smoothly. The animation and the squash and stretch and the flow of movement, all of it has to come off as natural. It has to be believable to the viewer's eye, making it the biggest art stretch I can do. Every anatomy lesson, every line quality practice, the ability to keep forms readable and give them perspective, everything gets applied here. And it's a lot, but it's in a good way. Part 2. My line art is just sketching, but only slightly less sketchy. Oh my god, I realized I didn't even introduce. Okay, so the characters that I'm drawing are two that I've had for far too long. This is Amaranthia, this is Callum, they make out. Okay, we're good. If I'm honest, line art in any medium is just me taking a sketch and erasing the shit out of it, which will still leave it messy, but it will also have it just readable enough that it'll pass. I do want to do more line quality practice because this is, what am I doing? I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best, but it definitely could be better. So with line art, I have to start thinking about what poses I want to be on separate layers and which ones will have camera movements. I could also overlay line art to get a cool effect when Amy does a little screen wipe. Although, in the coloring stage, that would bite me in the ass because I think Callipeg will kill me if I add another camera layer to make sure that the drawings in the backgrounds fade so that the foreground poses are readable. So I'm not going to do that. I would like to save my iPad. I know I said I wanted to burn it earlier, but I would like to save it. With line art too, this is when I have to start finalizing outfits and pose transitions. So, like in this pose, I originally had Amy wearing a different outfit, but realized it would be nicer to have her wear this one. These are changes I can do even during this stage because it's my animation. I'm not working in a team. I don't pre-plan outfits as much as I should. I also figured out how I wanted Amy to work in the in-betweens, which are the drawings that go in between different key poses, and that's as far as the explanation goes, because if I start talking about breakdowns, I am going to have a breakdown. I don't think I know them. I really don't think so. Anyway, in animations with very few drawings, I try to use smear frames all the way. There's a ton of different ways to go about this, but I like to squash and stretch my smears, like I did here. Or I like to put multiple movements in one pose, like how Amy has more hands than she usually would here. I follow the idea of arcs and make sure everything she does follows an arc whenever she moves because, you know, it just makes an animation flow better. It's the natural way that hands, bodies move. I'm just trying to live that slay the princess life. Oh, Slay the Princess is so much art. Oh, all of it is done by like mostly one person. It's so good. Oh, it's life goals. I yearn to be this productive in art making. Okay, moving on. Whenever I'm using squash or stretch, I try to maintain the mass of whatever thing I'm working on, because if you've ever squished a bouncy ball or slime, the mass of it doesn't just disappear. Whatever shape that object has to get redistributed across whatever you're like squishing it against. So obviously like slime versus football versus whatever else object you can think of, they're all going to have different weights, and some might not squish as much, some may squish more, so grain of salt all of this. And with taking all that into consideration, line art, done. Suffering. Less so. Part 3. Oh god, I don't know how to composite and I seldom color these things. I got lucky with coloring because this animation is not going to have a background. It's just not worth it for how quickly we pass through all of Amy's poses, which means that I have won. We are living it up in a white void. It's gonna be great. Despite the victories with the void though, I am still gonna have to color these frames, which is usually the part of drawing that, despite how my colors look, quite frankly, it's the part that I struggle with the most. Some days I absolutely hate it. I despise it. Colors are so hard to do. When they click, it's beautiful. When they don't, it's agony. But since I've colored these characters for approximately 10 years, I do have references to help out. Now, is doing multiple color palettes for lighting and intricately detailed shading a choice? Yes. Could I have made it simpler? For sure. Although, you forget, I don't make smart decisions. I just make the ones that make art feel good to me. And it was, weirdly enough, so much easier just to take this palette from an OC Tober art and plunk it onto these two. I couldn't tell you why. I got this done in like a day, if that. It was pretty smooth flowing, surprisingly. Even with coloring line art in certain parts of the drawing, like Amy's stretch marks and scars. And since Callipeg has its limitations, this is the part where it started to explode. Lots and lots of crashing, but it saves my progress, so it was more of an annoyance than a oh god, oh fuck kind of moment, so some good things. I think that the camera movements were really doing a number on this thing, genuinely. Even so, we persevered. I especially found it fun to color Amy with her little snake buddy, just like she is in this one comic that I made of them that I've yet to show on YouTube, but have shown on my Insta because, I don't know, if the formatting for posts here just sucks. Somehow it's worse than Instagram, which is a feat, for sure. To add on top of all the camera stuff, since the movements don't let you draw outside of the canvas size you've already chosen, there are bits and pieces of the animation that will just have these white gaps that I can't fill on my color layer for these frames. So in real technical terms you don't care about, I went under those frames to add a coloring layer that wasn't affected by the camera movements, so it would blend in more and not be noticed by the average viewer. And now that you know this, you can go back to the animation and I guess you can see what I did, if you really wanna. And since I mentioned Knights of Guinevere, whoa, look at these frames that utilize the camera to make it feel like there's more animation. Radness. Oh, the color palettes in Knights of Gwen are genuinely so gorgeous. I'm so happy. I wish I'd stumbled upon it like after a few episodes were already out because waiting is agony, but it's so cool. Outside of these detailed frames that I was doing, I was overjoyed to just slap a basic color fill on for all the rest of the stuff. I really wanted to use the sketchy animation here as a transition back to the one-tone coloring so that the effect wasn't as jarring as going from this to this. And I did the opposite with the beginning fill, since you see these really basic colors, and then, boom, it makes the burst of colors that Amy has a lot more, sparkly than it would be if I colored myself. You guys should see me. I am doing, like, hand movements up the wazoo. So, after creating the video, I uploaded onto YouTube, fix up the title, the descriptions, put a pinned comment with animation software and song information. I had hashtags and blah 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 blah. Bingo mango. We're done. Even with so few frames for each pose that Amy strikes, the camera movements and Callum popping up helps keep the video fresh. So, yeah, I did it. That, you technical freaks, is one small step towards my animation dreams, and one giant leap for animation trends. Not really. It was just fun. And I survived animating once again, so I'm proud of myself to do that. And also really overjoyed with how everything turned out, even with the sketchy lines. The remains of my line art phase haunt me still. I think a lot of the times we tend to get really caught up on whether we have the ability to make the things we want to create, and while having a realistic view isn't a bad thing, I can see how it held me back in the past. I used to fantasize about making YouTube videos and creating animations and comics and the like, but never really pushed myself into committing because I didn't feel ready. And if I'm being honest, I still don't feel ready. Even while doing all this, like, I've done comic contests, I've done animations and videos and art, it still creeps up sometimes. Yet I see that I am trying. I could have spent these past few days staring at the ceiling, scrolling on a phone that feels like nothing but blissful discomfort, but I didn't. And you know what? That's all I can ask for. I hope whatever drawing dreams or non-drawing ones you have get fulfilled too. One step at a time. Okay, bye.